Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, scientastic students.
Welcome to STEM 003, General
General
Physics 1.
Yun. So, ang galing-galing. Ang dami na nating modules na natapos. So, hindi
At
mo
nagpa-quiz ka, di ba?
Yes, hindi
How-
ako nagpa-quiz.
Ay, hindi ka nagpa-quiz.
Hindi pa. Magpapa-quiz pa lang tayo. Ayan. So, magpapa-quiz pa
okay.
lang tayo.
Excited
So,
ako.
mga anak, make sure na i-watch ninyo, papanoorin ninyo ng bonggang-bongga itong mga video discussions natin. Kasi, manggagaling din po dito ang ating mga quizzes.
At alam
Okay.
kong na-miss nila tayo.
Yes. So, makikita-kita na tayo. Malapit na. Abangan po ninyo yan.
Yes, let's start our main target for this week. And it is all about Module 11, Analyzing Moving Objects Behavior. Ito tinatawag natin its momentum and impulse.
Okay, for this topic, we have two objectives. Yan, first is to describe and differentiate momentum and impulse.
And of course, hindi ito mawawala. Calculate momentum and impulse and its related physical quantities of an object in motion.
Ayan, favorite. Okay, para mas maintindihan natin, unahin muna natin ang tagal ng kortina.
Oo nga.
Tagal ng kortina, definition muna. Or, ano nga ba ang mga dapat nating i-expect when we are talking about momentum?
Okay, kapag sinabi nating momentum mga anak, i-consider natin ang apat na bagay.
Yes.
Ito yung inertia in motion, moving objects.
And we also have our vector quantity.
And of course, we will also consider changes by impulse.
Okay, so an example is a truck rolling down a hill.
Okay, so
Ayan, so makikita natin ang momentum sa mga yan. And, eto, let's define ano nga ba ang momentum.
When we say momentum, ma'am, the Greek letter rho or RHO is a vector quantity signifying the product of an object's mass and its velocity.
Yes.
So, ang momentum, mga anak, lagi yung tatandaan, okay, product siya ng mass and its velocity. And when we talk on product, we're using multiplication.
Yun. And, ayan, mathematically momentum, ito na nga po ang sinasabi. Since momentum is presented as this one, parang letter P siya na maliit. And sabi nga kanina, product of mass and velocity. So, we are just going to multiply them. And if mass is in kilogram and velocity is in meter per second, then the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second.
So,
Or,
tinatawag natin Newton.
yes, napag-aralan natin yan sa previous topics natin. Kapag ganyan po, ibig sabihin, it is also equal sa Newton.
I will repeat, in computing our momentum, dapat ang mass natin mga anak ay in terms of kilogram and our velocity is always in terms of meter per second.
Yes.
Otherwise, you need to derive it first into its kilogram or into its meter per second.
Yes, kailangan natin
Before
mag-convert.
computing our momentum.
Yun.
Diba yun?
Okay, next naman, from the second law of motion, we have
Alam na
F
natin yan.
is equal to mass times acceleration, or F po is ang ating force, or force is equal to mass times the change in velocity all over time.
Tatanungin nila, paano nag-iba yan? Take note that acceleration is also equal to velocity all over time.
Yes.
Kaya wala pong problema kung ang gagamitin natin ay mass times acceleration or mass times change in velocity all over time.
Ayan. So, take note with this, mga anak. Okay. So, the two sides of the equation represents two very important physical quantities, impulse and momentum. So, take note with this. Magagamit po natin yan later on.
Kung tatanungin nila dyan kung paano nakuha, okay, just equate the given equation. Tinuruan na natin sila dyan ng bonggang-bongga.
Kung paano mag-derive, na ituro na namin sa inyo yan before. Next naman, we have to define impulse. So, pag sinabi nating impulse, it is the change in momentum. May pagbabago, ibig sabihin may paggalaw.
Yes.
So, a force is applied to an object to change its momentum.
Kailangan mong mag-apply ng force in order for that object to change its momentum.
Yes, sabi ko nga kanina, may paggalaw. So, ibig sabihin, meron na tayong involved na force. And, Ayan, meron
The
pa
time
pala.
of contact or how long the force acts is also a significant factor. Kailangan yon. Oo, para maging legit ang ating impulse, okay? Kailangan natin yung yung kung how long the force acts.
Yes, kung gaano, halimbawa, kung gaano kalakas yung force na ginamit
Yes.
mo, ganun din kalakas yung impact na mailalagay or na mapaprovide ng isang object.
Yes.
Yan.
And
And ito,
impulse.
formula.
Take note that when we compute for the impulse, it is the product of the force and the time over which the force is applied.
Ayan, so ito po ang representation ng formula natin. Impulse is equal to force times its time over which the force is applied. Next. Ayan. And meron din tayong iba't ibang formulas mga anak. Then derive lang po yung mga formula na yan. So for impulse, we have change in P. Ano na nga yung P natin? Momentum is equal to mass times final velocity minus initial velocity. And sabi ko nga, ang dami-dami ninyong formulas na nakikita dyan.
Pero lahat ng ito ay gagamitin natin at i-apply natin sa ating mga problem. Okay?
Ayan.
We have the formula in finding impulse momentum equation, so forth and so on. Okay?
Yes. At dahil dyan, let us now proceed with our examples. Let's proceed with our example number 1. So, a golf ball travels at 16 meter per second, while a baseball moves at 7 meter per second. The mass of the golf ball is 0.045 kilogram, and the mass of the baseball is 0.14 kilogram, which has a greater momentum. So, nilalakasan ko dahil malakas ang ulan. Siguro naman, klaro yan, no? Okay, so for this certain question, mga anak, dalawa ang given. Hinahanap niya kung ano daw yung momentum ang mas malaki.
Yes.
Kung yung baseball daw ba or yung golf ball. So, meron tayong dalawang isosolve. Unahin natin yung sa golf ball. Sa kabilang side naman yung baseball. And take note, sabi natin, momentum ang hinahanap. Therefore, if we're looking for momentum, the formula that we're going to use is P is equal to mass times velocity. But first, kunin muna natin ano yung mass and velocity ng golf ball. Ano ang mass and velocity ng ating baseball. Sa golf ball tayo, ano ang kanyang mass? Ang sabi niya, we have
0.045.
Ayun, 0.045 kilogram. And its velocity, golf ball daw ay 16 meter per second. Therefore, ay dito naman sa kabila, sa baseball, ang kanya daw mass ay 0.14 kilogram. And its velocity is 7 meter per second. Let's solve using substitution. So, isa-substitute lang natin siya. P is equal to mass times velocity. P is equal to, ang mass natin ay 0.045 kilogram times 16 meter per second. Using our calculator, substitute lang natin kung paano ang pagkakasulat, ganun din po ang pagkaka-input. So, we have 0.045 times 16. Okay. So, our answer is 0.72 kilogram meter per second. Malinaw po tayo dito?
Yes po.
Okay, hindi pa po yan ang final answer. Meron pa tayong isang isosolve. Substitute natin yung kabila. We have 0.14 kilogram times 7 meter per second. Again, using our calculator, 0.14 times 7 is equal to 0.98 kilogram meter per second. Babalikan natin yung problem. Ang hinahanap niya, which has a greater momentum. So, ibig sabihin, you need to compare the two. Alin dyan ang merong mas mataas?
Baseball po.
Baseball. So, ibig sabihin, ito po ang ating hinahanap. 0.98 ang ating final answer.
Super clear.
Okay.
Now proceed with example number 2. What is the momentum of a bird with a mass of 0.018 kilogram flying at 15 meter per second? I'm so sorry. Sumasabay yung ulan. So in this particular example, mga anak, Take note that we are looking for the momentum, okay? And momentum stands for small letter P or big letter P. Isn't it, Ma'am Tintin?
Yes.
Small letter P or big letter P? Whatever, okay? So
Basta
P
P.
now is equal to mass times the velocity, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay? And in this particular example, our mass is obviously 0.018 kilogram. Okay? While our velocity is equal to 15 meter per second. Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, following our example, by substituting mass or P is equal to mass which is 0.018 kilogram, i-multiply natin mga anak ang 15 meter per second using our calculator. Sabi ni Ma'am Tintin kanina, kung ano ang pagkakasulat, yun dapat po ang pagkakapindot. 0.018 times 15 is equal to, we have now 0.27 kilogram meter per second. Final answer. Maliwanag ba, Ma'am Tintin?
Sobrang liwanag po.
Okay.
Okay, so for our third example, a 1,400 kilogram car moving westward with a velocity of 15 meter per second collides with a utility pole and is brought to rest at 0.3 seconds. Find the magnitude of the force exerted on the car during the collision. Okay, so for this certain problem, ang hinahanap natin ay ang force. And based sa ating slides, the formula for our force is equal to magnitude times final velocity minus initial velocity all over time. So, ibig sabihin, in order for us to solve or to get the value for our force, kailangan muna nating i-identify si M, si final velocity, si initial velocity, and ang ating time.
Yes. So,
And
let's
take note-
analyze the given problem.
Yes. Take note mga anak, lahat ng yan ay makikita natin dito sa ating given problem. Next, mass. Ang mass na binigay po sa
Di
ating
ba Sunday,
problem.
yung kanina yan?
Ha?
Yung kanina yan?
Hindi ba yun?
Di ba Sunday ngayon?
Parang ko masakit. Ang kalimutan niyo yung sinabi ni Sir Jason.
Ay, sorry, akala ko misa yan.
Ay, iba.
Iba yun.
Okay, based sa ating given problem, we have 1,400 kilogram.
Ay, bigat pala yun.
Nakakalungkot.
sorry. Akala ko yung
And-
kanina yan, yung second mass first. Pati mo may second at first
Yes.
yan.
Our final velocity is, sabi niya dyan, brought to rest in westward with a velocity of 15 meter per second, collides with a utility pole, is brought to rest in 0.3 seconds. So, ang binigay niya is yung initial velocity, tama? Which is 0.3 seconds. So, ibig sabihin, ulaw. Ang linaw-linaw na seconds yun.
Time yun.
Ba't nilagay ko sa velocity? Kalimutan niyo mga anak. Sorry. So, ulitin ko ha, yung 0.3 seconds, dito yun sa time.
Oo.
Ang linaw-linaw na seconds.
Diba?
I'm so sorry, kasalanan niyo ng mas mo. Okay, and for our initial velocity, we have 15 meter per
Ma'am
second.
Tintin, I have my question.
Yes.
Paano mo na-identify ng 15 meter per second ay tinatawag po siyang initial velocity at hindi po siya final velocity?
Dahil sabi niya dito, the car is moving westward with a velocity of 15 meter per second. At tapos, huminto daw siya. So, ibig sabihin, ang kanyang final velocity
Zero.
is 0 meter
Okay.
per second. So, since kompleto na, pwede na natin siyang i-substitute. Let's substitute. F now is equal to, ano pong ating M? 1,400 kilogram times final velocity natin, 0 meter per second, minus initial velocity is 15 meter per second, all over ang time natin which is 0.3 seconds. So, pwede natin siyang idire-diretso using our calculator, scientific calculator. Let's substitute. Fraction po muna tayo. We have sa taas 1/4 times 0 minus 15 all over 0.3. So, our final answer is F
Negative.
is equal to negative 7,000 kilogram
70,000 kapatid.
meter per second. Sorry, kulang na ang isang zero. O, so, paano ko nidadagdag?
Negative 70,000.
Negative 70,000 kilogram meter per second.
Pakibox po.
Final answer. O, lagyan pa natin ng heart. O, okay na?
Yan, okay na.
Okay.
Okay, let's have our last example for this day. A 2,250 kilogram car traveling to the west is slowed down uniformly from 20 meter per second to 5 meter per second in 4.00 seconds. The question is, what constant force acted on the car during this time? Okay, again,
Ulit natin.
our main problem is to get the force acted on the car during this time. And we know that our formula in finding force is equal to the mass times the final velocity minus the initial velocity all over time. Okay, so kailangan muna natin i-identify mga anak ang mass, ang final velocity, ang initial velocity, and our time. Obviously, our time is 4.00 seconds. Isn't it?
Yes.
And obviously, kapag sinabi nating mass, always in kilogram. And that is 2,250 kilogram. Let's analyze very carefully the problem. Sabi niya, is slowed down uniformly from, sabi niya, nag-umpisa daw po siya ay 20 meter per second. Ibig sabihin, ito po ang kanyang initial or final velocity. Isn't it? Ay, ito ang
Initial.
kanyang initial
Yes.
velocity. So, 20 meter per second. Doon siya nag-start at nag-slow siya sa 5 meter per second. Meaning to say, yung 5 ang ating final velocity.
Yes.
Okay, maliwanag po.
Yes.
We are now ready to solve. Force now is equal to 2,250 times. Okay, what is our final velocity? Our final velocity is 5 minus our initial velocity is 20 all over. Okay, our time which is 4.00. Okay, using our calculator, pwede po natin idiretso yan. Okay, fraction muna mga anak. We have now 2,250. Okay, close parenthesis, 5 minus 20 close, then 4.00. Okay, that is equal to, our force now is equal to negative 8,437.5.
5.
Okay, and our unit is of course
Kilogram,
meter per second. Are we clear, Ma'am Tintin?
Yes.
Final answer. Heart yung sa'yo.
Oh,
O sige,
star-
kaya mo sa akin.
Dinosaur. Okay, that's it for our module this day, mga anak. I hope marami kayong natutunan. At laging tandaan, lahat yan, gaano man kahirap ay kakayanin natin dahil tayo ay
#Scientastic
and
Students!
Bye. Bye-bye.